Okay, so today we are looking at a Whirlpool Duet Sport gas dryer. It's a freestanding unit, and the customer says that everything seems to be working normally, but there is no heat. So we verified that the gas pressure is on, and it does have a clear vent out to the outside. And we're going to open up the bottom and have a look and see what's going on inside of this machine. Okay, so we've got the machine running. We turned it on, set it for heat, and the first thing we do notice is that there's nothing happening at all at the burner section. There is nothing's going on at the burner. Putting our voltage probe, we go and we put a probe on the lines that lead to the high limit thermostat, which is basically in front of the whole burner section, and we see that it's not getting any power at all. There's either no power into it or there's no power out of it. And so we are going to backtrack a little bit more, and now we're taking a look at the thermal fuse, and we see that when we touch the thermal fuse back here, we've got nothing. But we go back to the other side, you can hear it beeping. So we've got power to the thermal fuse, not out of the thermal fuse. The issue is that they've got a bad thermal fuse. So we're opening up the machine right now. We need to change out the thermal fuse, which is actually down at the bottom of the machine, and is actually accessible right behind the blower carriage box. But the machine is so full of lint that we're going to open it up and give it a full cleaning out, and while we're inside there we'll lubricate the rollers, check the belts, make sure the idlers are all good and all that kind of stuff, so that'll be good to go for a while. Okay friends, we've got everything all opened up and apart right now. The front's been taken off, the drum's been taken out, and as you can see, there is a considerable amount of lint all throughout this machine. And I even see some evidence that some lint has caught fire here a few times. That's singed lint from the heat, and the only thing that would have prevented this dryer from catching fire was the possibility that there just wasn't enough oxygen inside the box to support the flame. But it's a pretty scary proposition just the same. That's why I recommend that everybody that uses their dryer as often as like most housewives and moms do, that you should have your dryer cleaned out at least once every couple of years. This is that thermal fuse that I was telling you about. This basically blows open if the temperature inside the dryer becomes too warm, and that's usually because of insufficient airflow throughout the machine. This is a thermistor. That's basically an electrical resistance device that converts temperature into an electrical signal. While we're in here, we're going to take a look at the idler wheel. Idler is in good condition. We're going to lubricate it. We're going to clean off all of the rollers. All 4 rollers are in pretty good condition, but they need to be cleaned out. The belt looks pretty good. Nice rubbery consistency, nice and smooth, although I do see a few small micro cracks in the surface, and I'll make the recommendation that as long as we've got it apart, she should get it changed now, since we probably won't be coming inside this dryer again for another 2 years or so. But what we're really looking at here is a serious accumulation of lint. It should not look like this. This is dangerous. Part here is the conduit channel that carries the cooled or the heat absorbed air from the dryer drum into the blower wheel, where the blower wheel then pushes it and exhausts it out of the house. And this is, once again, this is a lot of lint. This is not good. Got to keep these things cleaner, folks. Okay, so the machine is all coming back together. we have lubricated all of the rollers. That would be the rollers that right back here. That's the thing that the drum rolls around on. Front and back, left and right. Lubricated the belt idler. The belt itself looked fairly fresh, but it did show some micro cracks in its surface, and I suggested to the customer that since we probably won't be opening up this dryer for another 2 years, it'd probably be a good idea to just get it taken care of now. And inside you can see it's nice and clean. We've got a nice clean machine. The likelihood of a dryer fire is now substantially lower, which is something that I like to see. Okay, so the machine is back up and running again. The dryer is functional. It's producing heat. And what I'm looking for right now is the signs of adequate airflow through the dryer. And that airflow is presented to me by evidence of the flame, which is being cooled in just about a nearly horizontal fashion. That simply means that the faster the airflow, the flatter it cools the flame as it's drawn down the tube. And so we're pretty certain now that we do have sufficient airflow throughout the machine, and the house vent is probably okay. Airflow looks just fine. So the reason that this thermal vent blew was probably just because it just got old, which is a little bit less characteristic of what it does. Like I said before, usually these things blow whenever the airflow through the machine becomes sufficiently slow enough that it heats up the machine and ergo blows out the fuse. So anyway, I'm going to close it back up. Job's done.